let me sleep this late. My half the day is gone. It's pretty near sunup. Land sakes alive, I ain't stayed abed this late in 72 years.
Morning, Granny.
Now, Jethro, don't you yell at me. I'm going to get breakfast just as soon as I can.
Ma's done give us breakfast already, Granny. And now she's got us cleaning the house from top to bottom.
How come no one woke me?
Well, she says we ain't supposed to wake you. That's how come she shut off your alarm clock.
So Pearl done it. I'm sorry I took it out on you, Clock.
Jethro, your ma says bring you this bucket of suds. Oh, morning, Granny. How's your rheumatiz?
What rheumatiz?
Well, Pearl said you was having some twinges last night. That's how come she put a little Mountain Dew into your squirrel soup.
Pearl spiked my soup?
Yeah, she figured it would help you to sleep. And you was liking it too, Granny. You kept asking for another slug of soup.
Well, that's because I couldn't believe that Pearl could make such good soup.
Granny, what are you doing up? Ain't Pearl said I was to give you your breakfast in bed.
Beds is for sleeping, not eating.
Well, ain't Pearl said a body had to be waited on and took care of when it gets to be your age?
My age? Why, I'm in the prime of life. And you tell your Aunt Pearl that... Never mind, I'll tell her myself.
Nah, don't get riled up at Pearl. I reckon she's just trying to be helpful.
She's about as helpful as an alligator in a swimming hole.
I'd rather be caught twixt a pair of scrapping bobcats than two women trying to run the same house.
Sakes alive. With all these newfangled gadgets, work around here is just plain. Where you going with that, Jeffrey?
Outside.
I told you to take it up to Granny's bedroom.
Granny told me to take it outside.
You're taking your orders from me and not from Granny. That poor woman is old and tired, and we owe it to her to let her rest. Just hope and pray when I get to be her age that somebody will be looking after me.
You can quit hoping and praying. And if you keep messing around my kitchen, you ain't gonna get to be my age.
Don't stand there. Do as Granny says. Take it outside. How do you feel, Granny? Did you sleep off the soup? I mean, did the soup help you to sleep?
Now, you listen to me, Pearl, and you listen good. When you was a baby and you needed it, I spanked you. And when you was a toddler, I paddled you. And when you was a young'un, I swished you. And I can still do it, Pearl. Besides, the target's a heap much bigger today.
Now, honey, don't be riled. You was looking poorly last night, and I figured you needed a little rest. Honest, you look like the dogs that had you under the porch.
You can't scare me with that. I got a head of steam bigger than it has.
Gonna make pretty music when you make it shake like this, Uncle Jed?
That ain't for playing with, Jethro. You bust that and your ma'll tan you good.
Pa, I didn't wash the front of the house as high up as I can get. I'll need a ladder to get the whole thing.
Girl get you to wash the whole outside the house?
Yes, sir. She said every inch of it.
Well, if she ain't the cleanest woman. Well, come on, I'll help you.
Granny? Granny! You can hurt a body with an iron skillet like that? Oh, Jethro, protect your mom.
How can Granny hurt your ma? You said she was too old to get out of bed.
I was too old to get out of bed.
She comes. Oh,
I get it, Pop. Hey, Jethro, that looks like fun. I'll swing you now, but you gotta swing me later.
Told you that wasn't for playing on. I'll get down from there. Come on. Come on, get Pearl. Get your big overgrown boy off the chandelier.
I'll get him off of there if you get Granny off of me.
Ready?
You see him? He tried to kill me.
Oh! This has gone far enough. Oh, Now, Jethro's gone to fetch the truck around, and we's all going for a nice long drive and cool off some of the tempers in his family.
Ain't Pearl? Ain't Cousin Jethrina coming?
Oh, no, honey. She wants to practice her singing. She can go sightseeing another time.
Listen to that. You of yourself running off and leaving a child that sick?
Catherine ain't sick, she's singing.
Well, she's singing sick.
For your information, my daughter's training for the stage.
Well, now, that's one thing she can do, drive a stage.
This snapping and backbiting twitched you two has got to stop. Quick as Jethro gets here with a truck, we're going to take a nice long drive and show Pearl some amazing sights.
She ain't never gonna see no more amazing sights than she sees every morning when she looks in the mirror.
I wouldn't talk if I was you.
Look, Pa, yonder comes a truck and there's nobody driving it.
What's the trouble, Jethro?
It's out of gas, Uncle Jed. They ain't even enough to get to the filling station.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Ellie, you run the house and get Granny's jug. The big one.
Ooh, don't tell me that child ain't sick. Nobody makes a noise like that on purpose.
You're gonna be sorry you said them things when Jethro commences singing with a big orchestra like Rudy Valley. Ooh, Rudy Valley and his Connecticut Yankees.
Did you hear that, Jed? Your traitor cousin Pearl is letting her daughter desert to the Yankees. Well, I reckon they're getting what they deserve.
Guess what, Ma? They tell me at school there's lots of movie stars live on this street.
Do you reckon that Francis X. Bushman lives in one of them houses?
Wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Oh, my stars and garters. If I was to meet him face to face, I'd faint that away.
So would he.
What'd she say, Ellie?
Well, she said,
Look at that big house down there. I bet you the movie star lives in that one.
Oh, Jethro, drive up the driveway, and I'll go to the door and ask for directions.
Directions to where, Ma?
Directions to the next corner. Who cares? You didn't stop.
Oh, I know how to get to the next corner.
Now we passed it. Why, that might have been Raymond Navarro's house. I might have got acquainted with him and told him how I play piano at the movie theater back home. Why, I could have played and sung the song I wrote for the chariot race in Ben-Hur.
Simmer down, Pearl. I don't reckon that was Mr. Navarro's house. I got a good look up the driveway as we passed. The barn door was open. There wasn't a span of horses or a chariot in there.
Well, slow down anyway, Jethro. Land sakes, if I was to see Rod LaRock or John Gilbert or Hoot Gibson, why, I wouldn't even have time to ask for their autograph.
Some women is just plain man crazy.
What'd she say, Ellie?
well, she said
Let's
some women...
drive down to the business part of town, Jethro, and show Pearl some of the beautiful buildings and stores they got there.
Okay, Uncle Jed.
Tell your Aunt Pearl not to fret. There's men there, too.
Hey, Pearl, Granny said...
Never mind, Allie. Drive on, Jethro.
I think we'll see some movie stars down there.
Come in, folks. The movie's about to begin. By the way, the wax figures out front are by courtesy of the Beverly Hills Movie Museum.
Looky, Aunt Pearl, there's the movie picture theater up yonder.
Yeah. I wonder if they need a right good first-class piano player.
Why, do you know one?
Now, I have taken
Say,
all...
Pearl, ain't them movie stars out in front of that theater? Stop a minute, Jethro.
I can't believe it. It's Douglas Fairbanks, Rudolph Valentino, and William S. Hart.
I have never seen one woman as man crazy and movie star crazy as William S. Hart. Let me off of here.
Jethro, drive on before we embarrass them poor fellers.
Bill, honey, you're my hero. Yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo,
Hey, Jethro, let's go for a swim.
I'm too hungry, Ellie Mae. All that driving around give me an appetite.
Yeah, I reckon all that fresh air give us all an appetite. I'm empty as last year's bird's nest myself.
Buddy,
Time too.
I reckon I got time for a little friend before fiddle.
hurry up, Ellie Mae. I could eat a horse.
Well, just everybody relax. I'll have victuals to cook in for you can say Jack Robinson.
Jack Robinson. And you stay out of my kitchen.
I believe that kitchen happens to belong to my cousin Jake.
Well, I's a granny. And Granny's is closer than cousin.
Not when the granny's on the wife's side. I got Clampett blood in my veins.
You want to keep it there, you stay out of my kitchen.
Hey, Uncle Jed, come on back. There's gonna be a fight.
Oh, I don't fight nobody twice my age.
There ain't nobody twice your age.
I happen to be on the sunny side of 45.
Well, then move into the shade. You're drying up something awful.
Now, hold on.
Who's closer related to you, Jed? Her or me?
I is, 'cause I's a granny.
You're a mother-in-law. I'm blood cousin.
You're gonna be...
Oh, no, I reckon you're both just as close related to me as folks can be, because I love you both equal. And it'd pleasure me if you'd shake hands.
And come out fighting.
Come on now, shake hands. Granny, you start it off. Come on. Now, shake hands. Come on, Granny, shake hands with Pearl. There you are. Now, Granny, say something nice to Pearl. Go on, say something nice.
Pearl?
I never did see anything prettier than the weather is today.
Now, Granny.
Well, that was friendly.
Well, say something nice and friendly about Pearl.
Don't force her, Jed.
Ain't forcing her. She's just trying to think up something extra special nice now, ain't you, Granny?
Yeah, and it ain't easy.
See?
Oh, Pearl. She's always bragging on you. How pretty you are, or what, a nice figure you got?
I bragged on Pearl's figure.
You sure did. You said Pearl got the kind of figure a man likes.
Yeah. And then I said, too bad a man didn't get it instead of Pearl.
I wouldn't talk if I had a figure as bony as you.
Now, Pearl.
You're built like a sack full of horseshoes.
And you're built like a sack full of doorknobs.
Now, let me tell you.
Uncle Jed, you're breaking up a good fight.
Yeah, oh, why don't you go out and help your sister Jethrine?
What's she doing?
I don't know. Find out what she's doing and go help her.
Oh, you never let me have any fun. No.
Now, I'm asking you just as nice as I know how to stop all this backbiting and bickering. You're both fine-looking women. I'm proud to be kin to you. Why, if folks didn't know, they'd think you was Ellie Mae's sisters. Oh, Ellie, honey. Why don't you take these two pretty girls swimming down to the cement pond? That ought to cool them off.
In the dead of winter? Oh, the water stays warm all year round, ain't Pearl?
Yeah, it must be fed by some kind of hot mineral springs or something.
Oh, that ought to be mighty good for your rheumatiz, Granny. And I'll fix lunch while you're swimming.
I told you to stay out of my kitchen.
And I told you that...
Now, that's enough. And I hear one more word spoken in anger out of either one of you, dogged if I ain't gonna take a switch to you.
Ain't Pearl? Granny ain't too fond of swimming, but I'd be mighty proud if you'd go with me.
Oh, that's a mighty sweet invite, Ellie Mae. Earl, did you bring some swimming clothes?
Yeah, I do.
Well, now, you run along and get into them.
But I don't...
Come on, put them on. All right, doggies. I bet you Pearl in them swimming clothes has got the figure of a young girl.
She better give it back before she stretches it out of shape anymore. I didn't say it in anger. I'm smiling.
Well, I'm ready for the water.
It looks like she's been in it for 6 days.
Pearl, you are one of the finest looking women ever to come down out of the hill. And you're extra fetching in your swimming clothes.
I made it myself.
The ticket, you say?
It's all handwork.
No.
Yep. Every gore and gusset and dart and tuck and ruffling and rick-rack, I did it all myself.
Doggy, that's mighty pretty, and so are you, Pearl. Granny, did you ever see anything like Pearl in her bathing suit?
No, sir, I ain't.
Well, come on, I'll show you the pond. Ellie Mae and Jethro's down there waiting for you. Hold on there. What do you think you're doing?
Fixing to cut Ellie's hair.
Whack it off short, Paul, so as it won't get in my eyes when I swim.
I'd sooner cut off my arm than that beautiful hair of yours. Now, don't you never get a notion like that in your head again, nor you neither.
You mean I gotta let my hair grow long as Ellie's?
Jethro, why don't you try using your head for thinking?
I have tried, Ma, and it hurts.
Keep an eye on these two. I gotta go back up the house.
I will, Jed.
Hey, Ma, you want to race Ellie and me to the fur end of the pond and back?
In the water?
Yes, sir.
And get my swimming suit wet?
Yeah.
Oh, you do bear watching, both of you. Is them ham hocks?
Yeah, Ma.
Where'd they come from?
From pigs, I reckon.
How did they get here?
I took them out of the icebox. I was getting awful hungry.
Was you gonna eat them raw?
Of course not.
Huh.
I was going to keep my swimming trunks on.
Ellie Mae,
Yeah, Pearl.
what is this thing? Looks like a stove on wheels.
Well, that's what it is. It's called a portable barbecue. You just put a fire in there, then you lay the meat on this thing.
All right. Ellie Mae, you fetch some firewood. Jethro, you slice them ham hocks.
What would you like to hear next, Uncle Jed?
Well, can you play Dixie?
Why, sure.
I sure do like to sing that song.
It's right good for dancing, too. Would you do a jig?
Well, if the music happens to get down around my feet, I might just cut loose and stomp a spell. Better take my coat off just in case it does. Oh, I wish I was in the land of cotton. Old times there is not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. I wish I was in Dixie. Hooray, hooray. In Dixieland I'll take my stand to live and die in Dixie. Away,
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 away, away down south in Dixie. Away,
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 away down south in Dixie.
I was away from Pearl, away from Pearl and old Pearl, and away from Pearl and Dixie.
Boy, ain't nothing smells as good as ham a-cooking, Ma.
That's the truth. Wait till Jethreen gets a whiff of this. Ham is her favorite.
Mine too, Ma. Come on, hurry up.
Catherine, what is that delicious smell I'm a-smelling?
It smells like ham a-cooking, Uncle Jed.
Well, let's get on down to the cement pond, tell everybody we're going to have ham. That is a shortcut.
When the family tastes these riddles, they ain't never gonna let Pearl near the kitchen again. Good. Come and get it! Come and get it! Come on, everybody, victuals on! Land sakes, they're all so hungry they can't get up. Come on, Jethro, I know you can make it.
Oh, please, Granny, we just done eat 5 ham.
Dad?
Granny, them little hams is the best you ever cooked.
I didn't cook no hams.
I cooked them, Granny.
How'd you get in my kitchen without me seeing you?
I cooked them on this here stove with wheels.
Ma can cook anywhere.
Well, let's see her cook where I'm gonna
Don't
put
do it, Granny.
Just a minute. Here's your stove.
Sorry for Mr. Drysdale. Well, that poor man might as well be single with his wife gone all the time.
He's a lost soul, Jed. I was glad you invited him over for supper last night. But even my cooking didn't cheer him up.
Yeah, I noticed he hardly touched his plate of grits and possum belly.
Even when I spooned on some gopher gravy.
He didn't perk up till after supper, and Pearl started playing and singing.
Don't tell me he liked Pearl's bellering.
Bellering, it was yodeling.
Well, it curdled the milk clean out to the kitchen. Oh, I've thrown shoes at tomcats that made prettier music than Pearl.
I sure wish you two women would get along together.
We ain't gonna get along together till she learns to stay out of my kitchen. I bet she's in there right now, sticking her long nose into my pots and pans. By dingy, if she is...
Now, Granny, you just cool down.
I warned you to stay out of my kitchen.
Oh, Jethro, save your Lord. Protect me from that wild woman.
Hold her, Jethro, so I can paddle her.
Granny, a thing like that could smart.
I'll put me down, big overgrown put me
Hey, what's
down.
going on here? Jethro, put your granny down.
Put me
He
down.
was fixing to whomp Ma.
I'll whop her.
Here, Ma, now it's a fair fight.
I'm gonna whomp nobody.
Well, then you tell Pearl the next time she sticks her nose in one of my pots, I'm gonna cook it.
It is my bounden duty as a mother to supervise the victuals of my growing children.
Don't tell me they is still growing.
The Clampett side of the family has always been big, strong, strapping folks. It's your family that brought in the runts.
Who you call a runt?
I think she meant you, Granny.
He's about as helpful as a high wind in a prairie fire. Come on, Pearl, you and me's gonna have a talk. Jethro, you stay here and help your granny cool down.
Okay, Uncle Jed. Granny, would you rather I held you under the faucet here to cool off, or took you out to the cement pond and ducked you?
Try either one and I'll bash you flatter than a gander's arch.
Now, Pearl.
Cousin Jed, I know just what you're going to say. You're going to say, Pearl, stay out of the kitchen. You're going to say, that's Granny's kitchen and it's none of your business. You're going to say, stay in your room where you belong. That's what you're going to say, ain't it?
Ain't nothing like it at all. What I was going to say was, it seems to me that a handsome widow woman in the prime of life ought not to be hiding herself in the back part of the house, working over steaming pots and pans and dipping her playing fingers into soapy water and hoarsening up her beautiful singing voice yelling at Granny. That's what I was going to say.
Praise be. Why don't I keep my big mouth shut and just listen?
You know, Pearl, you got the gift of making music. And I reckon there ain't nothing these city fellas likes better than that.
Really, Jed?
Yeah, remember last night when Mr. Drysdale was here and you was playing and singing and yodeling for him?
Yeah.
You brung that poor lonesome man a lot of happiness.
Jed, you ain't agreeing in me, are you?
I'll give you my word. Remember that song you sung, The Flowers That Bloom in the Spring, tra-la?
Yeah.
Well, you had Mr. Drysdale believing it was spring.
No.
Yeah. While you was still singing, he went, flung open the window, stuck his head out, and started taking deep breaths, just like he was really smelling them flowers.
You reckon he liked my yodeling?
Pearl, he like to went wild. I reckon them city fellas don't get a chance to hear much yodeling. 'Cause when you throwed your head back and cut loose, it really grabbed a hold of him.
It did?
He gripped the arms of his chair till his knuckles turned white. Then he commenced to rocking back and forth and moaning like he's under some kind of a spell. And his eyes commenced to circling in his head, and real tears run down his cheeks. Before you got done, he was limp as a dish rag. I had to help him to the door.
Uncle Jed, I can't seem to do nothing to cool Granny off.
Ain't no need to, Jethro. Your pretty, young, piano-playing ma has decided not to hide herself away out in the kitchen.
That's a good idea, Ma, because Granny, she'd find you and whomp you.
Well, we'll see about that.
Well, Pearl, you stay out here and practice playing and singing and yodeling. I'll take care of Granny.
I wonder if I should have told Uncle Jed that Granny's waiting behind the door with a skillet to whomp the first person that sets foot in her kitchen. Reckon I should have.
Jed, I'm sorry. I thought it was Pearl coming in.
Granny, you done shortened me.
I'll make a poultice for your head right away now, Jed. Right away.
I'm telling you, Granny, you don't have to worry no more about Pearl coming in your kitchen. She's going to be spending her time getting herself a husband with her singing and yodeling.
Jed, it ain't legal to torture a man into marrying you.
You just don't realize the power Pearl's yodeling's got over men. Last night, Mr. Drysdale like to went wild.
Pretty near drove me crazy, too.
He loved it, Granny. I'll bet you he's got that yodeling ringing in his ears right now.
I can still hear it. An unearthly screeching.
Now, Chief, surely it wasn't that bad.
Well, I can best describe it as the sound a woman might make if she were having her appendix removed without an anesthetic.
Milton, darling.
Margaret, I'm so glad to have you back, dear.
What a cunning hat, dear. Is it you?
Welcome home, Mrs. Drysdale.
Thank you. Milton, I have the most marvelous news. I'm going to a health farm in Arizona.
What?
Some women were talking about it on the plane. It's terribly chic, quite expensive, and you don't need any willpower. They just force you to be healthy. The doctors are all deliciously mean.
But, Margaret, you are healthy. Every doctor in the United States says you're healthy.
But, dear, this is different. They reduce you as well.
Margaret, if you want to lose weight, just stay home and we'll have dinner at the Clampetts every night. Now, you can't eat the food, but you won't leave hungry. Because Cousin Pearl will yodel your appetite away.
But, Milburn, it's so fashionable to go to a health farm.
Oh, Margaret, please stay home and run the place for a while.
You have plenty of servants.
Yes, but we have no one to manage the place. And with both of us away most of the time, the servants are asleep on the job.
Well, just hire a good, efficient housekeeper.
Oh, yes, let's try and find one. Oh, Margaret, please stay home.
All right. That's the way you feel. Miss Hathaway. I'll stay home, just as you wish.
That's my darling.
Yes, Mrs. Drysdale?
Telephone the pharmacy and have all my prescriptions refilled. And call my psychiatrist, my neurologist, my internist, and my osteopath and have them come over. Oh, and I'll need nurses around the clock. I just know servant problem's going to bring on a nervous breakdown.
All right, go to the health farm.
No. My place is at home.
Please go to the health farm.
All right. If you're sure that's what you want.
Oh, I want it.
Milburn, I promise to come back a new woman. Bye. Just think, Milburn, you'll have a young, glamorous wife. Slim, trim, beautiful.
All right, start looking for a new housekeeper.
Won't do any good, Chief. We've been through this. Mr. Drysdale's office. Who's calling, please?
Tell him it's a surprise.
Surprise?
That's what she says.
Milburn Drysdale speaking.
What in the world is that?
That is Pearl Bodine yodeling. Now, when she comes up for air, tell her I was drafted.
Chief, she might be the answer to your housekeeping problem.
What?
Be nice to her. I'll explain.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, Mrs. Bodine. How nice to hear your voice again. You saying?
Mr. Clampett says that Pearl is such an industrious housekeeper that Granny is jealous. She might take over your house and hers and solve both your problems.
What about that yodeling?
I won't be there. And I defy any servants to sleep on the job with Pearl around.
Hello?
Hello, Mrs. Bodine. I wonder if I might come over and talk to you for a while.
What, talk to me? Well, what about?
Well, I think you may be just the woman I've been looking for.
Yeah.
To take over the running of my house?
Well, yes. Come right ahead.
Can we say 3 o'clock?
Let's say 2. Goodbye. Oh-la-lee, oh-la-lee, ooh. Oh-la-lee, oh-la-lee, ooh.
Will you stop that infernal caterwauling of yours?
It might be infernal caterwauling to you, but it's pure catnip to me. Oh-la-lee, oh-la-lee, ooh. Oh-la-la-la-lee, oh-la-lee. Now, looky there. I hit such a perfect note, it busted the glass.
It wasn't your voice that busted the glass. It was your face.
We'll see who gets the last laugh when my sweetie comes.
Sure is nice of you to share your soap with Miss Drysdale.
Well, with my lye soap, she'll be happy to stay home and do her housework.
Hey, most powerful batch of soap that you ever made. Just a breeze blowing it back on me on the way over here has got me crying.
I make a big soap to do a big job.
Howdy, Miss Drysdale.
Hello. Goodbye, goodbye.
Where are you going?
Milburn is sending me to a help farm. Martin, are we loaded?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, let's fly, fly, fly.
Just a minute, Miss Drysdale. Granny and me brung you something.
Yeah, honey. Take a good whiff of this.
How nice of you. Tell the gardener to spade it in around the rose bushes. Toodaloo.
Oh, just a minute, ma'am. Granny and me'd like to talk to you.
I haven't time. The sooner I go, the sooner Milburn will have his new wife.
Did you say new wife?
Completely new. Young, glamorous, slim, trim, and beautiful. Oh, Martin, did we pack my medicine?
16 bottles, Mrs. Drysdale.
Good. Drive on. Toodaloo.
How could a woman be so cheerful about her husband getting a younger wife?
You heard her. She's loaded.
Yeah, both of them. Sued to the gills.
Who do you reckon is the woman that busted him up?
Hard to tell, Granny. There's so many young, beautiful women out here.
Yeah, probably one of them glamorous movie stars.
Oh, Mrs. Bodine.
Why, Mr. Drysdale, you are anxious. If I'd had a little more notice, I'd have baked your sweet potato pie. It's one of my specials.
Oh.
Won't you step down?
Thank you.
Here, I'll take your hat. Yes, sir, I just love to cook, and I love to sew, and I love to keep house.
Yes, I've heard you're an exceptional housekeeper.
But I ain't one of them fussy ones. No, sir, not me. I say a man's home is his castle, and it is the duty of a woman to make him comfortable.
Oh.
Here we go. Yes, sir. A man works hard all day, and when he gets home, he has a right to enjoy himself. Take off his shoes and relax and listen to some soothing music to calm his jangled nerves.
Please, Mrs. Bodine, not like that.
Mr. Drysdale, I gotta ask you to keep a grip on yourself. We're all alone in the house.
If you want me to keep a grip on myself, I must ask you not to play or sing or yodel.
I understand. Kind of makes you go all to pieces.
Yes, it does.
Well, you just come on back, and you sit down. Why, Mr. Drysdale, you're perspiring. Why, you gotta get relaxed.
Well, please.
A man can't say what's on his mind unless he's resting easy. Land sakes. And with that tie and collar choking you, it's a wonder you can talk at all.
Oh, Mrs. Bodine, I'll be all right. Really, I will.
Mr. Drysdale, you got a hole in your stocking. Oh, it's nothing to be ashamed of. When a man ain't got a woman around to care for him, them things is bound to happen. I declare, Mr. Drysdale, you're ticklish. Now, look, I'm gonna let you sit easy, and I'm gonna darn that up before you know it.
Oh, Mrs. Bodine, no, really, I can manage.
No, I ain't taking orders yet.
No, please, give me back my sock.
Give me
my
I
sock.
know how to handle you.
That's not fair. No, please. No, Mr. Bucky. No, please.
Mr. Drysdale.
I reckon Pearl is a young, beautiful woman that busted up his marriage. What? It's been her singing and yodeling that drove him to it. Mr. Drysdale.
Mr. Clampett, it was just, your cousin and I were... Oh, no, we weren't.
Jethro, leave the room.
Leave the house. Did you have to come back right now?
We was just going great.
Pearl, what's the matter with you?
Man crazy, always was.
Mr. Drysdale, get yourself decent. I'll be back to talk to you.
Shame on you! You too, Pearl, you homewrecker.
I don't know what you're talking about. You told me that Mr. Drysdale was crazy about my yodeling, so I called him at the bank, and I yodeled, and he come a-running over here to see me.
You done yodeled your way twixt Mr. Drysdale and his wife?
Wife, I didn't know he had a wife.
Well, he has. The sweetest, kindest, nicest, drunkenest woman you ever saw.
You done sent her to the farm. Put her out to pasture so he can marry you.
You seen her leaving. Oh, she knows about you, Pearl. Said her husband was going to get a new wife. Young, glamorous, slim, beautiful. Jed, that can't be Pearl.
You're forgetting what a powerful spell her voice throws on a man. Now, Pearl, I'm going back in there and try to talk some sense to Mr. Drysdale. Whatever you do, don't yodel.
Oh, Mr. Clampett, I'm terribly embarrassed about the picture we must have presented when you came in, but I assure you I wasn't at fault. Yes, your cousin Pearl is one of the most...
Yeah, my cousin Pearl admitted that she called you on the telephone and stirred you up. But she didn't know you were going to send your wife away to make room for her.
Oh, but I didn't. In the first place, my wife is never home. Second place, if she does come home, there's still plenty of room for both of them.
Mr. Drysdale, I hear tell that you folks out here behaves mighty different than we's used to. I know you're carrying a heavy load on account of your wife. But I just can't let my cousin Pearl get mixed up in any kind of goings-on like that.
Well, then, if I can't have Pearl, can I have Granny?
Lord love you, you're a desperate man. That poor man in there is so sick of his drinking wife, he is wanting to marry either one of you two.
Last one in is an old maid.
Hey, we's trying to save the marriage, not bust it up, and I think I got an idea that'll do it. I want you two to wait in the kitchen, and when I bring Mr. Drysdale in, I want you two. Yes, sir, Mr. Drysdale. Both them fine, hard-working, good-cooking, housekeeping women is in the kitchen there. All you have to do is go in there and take your pick.
Oh, this is marvelous of you.
Nobody knows.
Oh, no. And they took the pledge.
Well, look who's here. It's old Jed himself.
And there's Milby, baby.
You fellas want to dance? Come on, have a little dance. Come on now.
You can't can't answer there.
Why not?
It's all downhill.
You pick now, Mr. Drysdale, while I can still walk over to your house.
Oh, he's gonna pick me. Ain't you, sweetie Milby?
Oh, no, he ain't. He's gonna take me, ain't you?
Listen, he gets your banker grabbing hands off of him.
Will you shove it, fella? Will you shove it, huh? I'll show you. Shove it there.
How about taking both of them, Mr. Drysdale? No, thanks. You done it, girl. Bless you both.
Pearl, you were just great.
So was you, Granny, darling.
Together, you saved that man's home and you saved his marriage. Now, don't it give you a good feeling?
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of winded. I think I'll go upstairs and rest. Call me when lunch is ready, Granny.
Oh, now, just a minute, Pearl, honey. We got a lot of mess to clean up here.
Granny, darling, you give me strict orders to stay out of your kitchen. Remember?
Why, you low down, no good.